Top 10 Amazing Facts and Stories about Sinkholes. Empty chambers close to the Earth's surface some of the time give in to frame sinkholes. For most part, they appear to simply stay there. Nonetheless, sinkholes can do some quite amazing things. Aside from falling under individuals' feet, and making incredible CCTV film, sinkholes additionally gradually devour urban communities and celebrated landmarks. They may even foster their own climate. These openings frequently contain antiquated fortunes and secrets that bait researchers down inside risky spots. Shockingly, sinkholes additionally hold exceptionally current abhorrences. 10 New Giant Sloth. In 2009, an expert jumper explored a sinkhole. The submerged design was situated in Mexico, south of Cancun. Eventually, he discovered bones. From the outset, the enormous remaining parts looked like a cow. However, after a couple of more introductions to the sinkhole, the jumper discovered hooks among the ribs. Since cows with claws still can't seem to develop, he realized this was something different. Sloth-adoring specialists before long recognized it as another Goliath ground species that weighed as much as 500 kilograms, 1,100 pounds. At that point it got a truly odd name. Zybalba onyx oviceps converts into underground hook egghead. Although confused with a cow-like and troubled with a peculiar title, X. oviceps is deductively significant. About 3 million years prior, the Americas experienced something many refer to as the Great American Biotic Interchange. Land vertebrates from the north relocated toward the south while the southerners chose to travel north. In 2017, the egghead example showed connections to sloths found in the two districts, and this could explain how the creatures scattered during this major switch. 1. 9. The SixStory Sinkhole. In 2018, farmworker Colin Tremine from New Zealand tracked down a major astonishment. While gathering together dairy cattle, he experienced an opening that ran 2 football fields wide and could swallow a 6-story building. The unpleasant factor rose when he understood that the Uber gouge had showed up for the time being. While Tremine breastfed intends to ward inquisitive cows off, a crowd of volcanologists charged nearer. The homestead is on top of a resting spring of gushing lava, and the sinkhole offered an uncommon look into its past. To be sure, they discovered volcanic stores at the base that were 60,000 years of age. Far better, on top of the antiquated layer were remainders of lakes that once sloshed inside the sinkhole. Volcanic debris was sprinkled on top of the dried lakes. 2. The pit could uncover how frequently the well of lava blew its top previously. Notwithstanding, it's not possible for anyone to say without a doubt how the sinkhole shaped. It was presumably an underground natural hollow covered with a slight roof which fell under substantial downpour. 8. World's largest cluster. 49 Goliath sinkholes found in NW China's Shaanxi province. A ton of sinkholes are brought about by humankind. Their normal cousins are far more uncommon yet don't need the wow office. In 2016, scientists reviewed the land around a city in northwest China when they tracked down the biggest gathering ever. Around 49 common sinkholes crossed 4 provinces over a space of 600 square kilometers, 232 square miles. It required 4 months of devoted looking along woodland and mountain territory. Notwithstanding, the geologists not just tracked down the world's greatest chain of sinkholes yet additionally a collection of 50 pipes. They were 50 to 100 meters, 164 to 328 feet, in diameter. 3. While 17 of the sinkholes were huge, one was the verifiable sovereign honeybee. This beast could conceal the Eiffel Tower, and the Empire State Building could lay on its side without contacting the dividers of the sinkhole. In more mathematical terms, its width estimated 520 meters, 1,706 feet, and it plunged to a profundity of 320 meters, 1,050 feet. 7. The bus stop incident. Crude. Sinkhole swallows up pedestrians in China. In 2015, walkers strolled along a pathway in Harbin, a city in China. The individuals who were moving lucked out. Nonetheless, 5 individuals stopped. They were holding up at a bus station when a sinkhole yawned underneath their feet abruptly. There was nothing geographically languid about it. The occasion struck so quick that no one got the opportunity to save themselves. A close-by surveillance camera caught the sensational second, showing how one lady figured out how to grasp an underground line. This kept her from joining the other 4, who fell about 3 meters, 9.8 feet. The individuals who plunged as far as possible just got minor wounds, and the lady clutching the line was immediately helped out. Albeit the reason behind the breakdown was obscure, this is a developing issue in China. Another city, Jining, is so punctured with progressing sinkhole movement that 5 million of its occupants will leave inside this century. Jining's downfall can be accused on broad mining. 4. 6. The Dead Sea Collection. The Dead Sea has more than 4,000 sinkholes. Most spot the traveler Mecca's western shores. The ocean, lined by Israel, Jordan, and spaces of the West Bank constrained by the Palestinians, has drawn in individuals for thousands of years. While most accept that the mineral-rich and amazingly pungent waters improve well-being, there is an expanding hazard that a sinkhole may very well destroy it. Gigantic gaps open up along the banks, for the most part abruptly. Specialists understand what causes the dangerous pits. The Dead Sea is contracting. The Jordan River used to take care of it, however this source is being redirected by people for different causes. Also, one organization is vigorously mining its salt and minerals. As the salt water subsides, new groundwater ascends to the surface and breaks down sufficient salt layers to make sinkholes. 5. Albeit nobody has been killed, it could simply involve time. Researchers can't anticipate where the openings will show up straight away. More regrettable, they are shaping all the more quickly, now and then buckling under one another to frame Goliath pits. This jeopardizes the travelers as well as local people living close by. 5. Buckling oil fields. During the 1980s, the main sinkholes showed up in Wink, Texas. They have been spreading from that point forward as a feature of a disturbing issue confronting the tremendous oil fields. The ground is hurling and plunging such a lot of that geophysicists are developing concern. 6. This development comes from destabilized Earth because of human action. The area is one of the world's greatest oil creation locales and saw many years of gas and oil extraction, carbon dioxide infusion, and salt water removal wells. At the point when specialists as of late delved into long stretches of old information, they discovered awful news. A few areas had moved up to 100 centimeters, 40 in. This is sufficient to harm framework, including pipelines. No oil slick at any point won a prize for being superb for the climate. This district is a basic wellspring of the 2 gas and oil for the United States, which implies that activities will proceed. Individuals living in West Texas face developing dangers accordingly. 4. City under siege. Tehran is the capital city of Iran. Lately, a few issues merged to urge sinkholes to open wherever around there. A constant dry spell is transforming the area into a desert. Residents in their late 20s and mid-30s have realized only diminishing precipitation and developing hills. This parched climate constrained Tehran to take advantage of underground water sources. A tremendous sum was kissed up to the surface gratitude to another issue, a developing populace. The capital's numbers detonated to 8.5 million individuals requiring water consistently. More terrible, Tehran takes an immense part to water handle that battle more than they produce food. The outcome is alarming. With such a lot of underground water eliminated, sinkholes and miles-long crevices are opening up all over the place. The collapses undermine homes, organizations, parkways, and the air terminal. They likewise harm foundation. Inhabitants live in dread that their structures will fall and all things considered. Tehran is sinking 22 centimeters, 8.6 in, each year. 7. 3. Mysterious Mayan Cenote. The old Mayan city of Mayapan stands in southern Mexico. Between AD 1150 and 1450, its populace numbered around 17,000. Since the district was dry, the city was astutely worked to incorporate 40 cenotes, or water-filled sinkholes. Be that as it may, something peculiar was brewing. The city divider intentionally bended to bar one cenote, called Sac Uam, and then bended again to incorporate another nearby by. 8. In 2014, analysts needed to discover why a decent water source was undesirable. A jumping group discovered 2 chambers with at any rate 15 human skulls and a combination of other skeleton parts. They included men, ladies, and youngsters. The gathering was certainly Mayan. One lady's head showed the skull leveling that was broadly drilled on babies at that point. They didn't show characteristics of penance or different pieces of information about why they wound up in Sak Uam. The city covered its dead in graves close or in the parish's home. It very well may be that these were plague casualties. This would clarify their segregation outside the city and the dismissal of the Cenote as a water source. 2 clouds inside sinkholes. Photograph credit. ScienceAlert.com. In southwest China, nitrate diggers close to the Niubizi Tianqing sinkhole consistently realized that something hid underneath the profound opening. Niubizi Tianqing is around 195 meters, 640 feet profound. It took a group of 15 pilgrims from a spelunking society to find the wonderland that was truly down there. In 2013, the group went down Niubizi Tianqing and tracked down an underground cavern framework. It was unbelievable. A few sections dated back to the Ordovician period, 488.3 million to 443.7 million years prior, and ran 42,139 meters, 138,251 feet. The most profound regions plunged 441 meters, 1,447 feet. Estimations to the side, the genuine prize was the view. The cavern framework had a whole woodland, the sound, green kind with clear lakes and white water rapids. Monster stalagmites bordered the scene. The best part is that it had mists. Found in the appropriately named cloud ladder hall, mists and mist hung thickly noticeable all around. The cavern's mugginess caused the strange sight. One modern mass grave, the Kaspa Sinkhole, is a few miles outside Mosul in Iraq. It harbors a terrible secret: the bodies of 4,000 murder victims. In 2014, the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, took over Mosul and began to wage a bloody war against security personnel and the city's police. Captured policemen and soldiers were driven to the sinkhole, executed, and thrown in. Some were put on a bus before the vehicle was driven into the deep tunnel. Locals were often forced to watch. They claimed that the killing started 6 months after the city fell to ISIL and that 2,000 security men had died in one day at the Kaspa Sinkhole. 10. As the area was too hot to enter, Human Rights Watch monitored the location via satellite and could see the sinkhole fill up as the horror continued. This is believed to be the biggest mass grave in Iraq. It even beats the most famous ISIL massacre when 1,700 army cadets were murdered on a military base near Tikrit. That event, also in 2014, turned the Tigris River red with blood.